Hello, cheers. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Good to see you again. Well, it's only been a few days, but I have beer. We have beer on tap. Ooh, and oh man, I hadn't realised how nice a fresh, hoppy, decent beer is. And I have to say it's decent. I know I'm like bigging myself up here, and I'm not really trying to. I'm just bigging the beer up. It's not my recipe really. This is old Harry Brew's recipe. All I've done is brew it, and it is bloody nice. Oh, everything about it is just like I know it's only been a few days since my last video, and my last video was probably a bit non-beer related, I suppose. My usual Sunday thing, but not. All about my son and his diabetes. If you pulled the pants off you, I'm sorry. For those that have replied, thank you for your kind words. It's very nice to know. Quite a few of you are also affected by family with diabetes, be it your children, be it your partner, be it just your parents, even someone you know. So it's good to know that there are people out there living their lives without problems, with who've had it as well. One person I did mention, and I never mentioned this the other day, so Steve Redgrave, diabetes, type 1 diabetic. Wow. Is that 5 gold medals in, was it 5 gold medals in 5 different Olympic games? I mean, I know he's got more than 5, but it's 5 different games he's won the Olympic gold in. If he can do that with it, then there's hope for everyone, including Thomas. So cheers for everyone for your comments. I'm sorry I haven't replied. It's been a bit chaotic, what with him and work again, and trying to get into routines and stuff. Pardon me. And beer. Yay! I got beer. This is fucking gorgeous. It's been a while since I've had a homebrew on. A long time, like I said. So this is the first I've had since, since the kitchen was done. The kitchen was done in July. What are we in now? End of September, beginning of October coming up. That's my son's 18th. On Friday. Woohoo! He's 18. He's going out with his mates Friday night. Not with me. Friday night with his dad. Don't be stupid. But as I think I said it in the last one, on the Sunday one, that myself, my father-in-law, and him are supposed to be having a few beers on Saturday. Yeah. So yeah. I made this also because it's my birthday as well on the Tuesday. So I'll be living on Tuesday. Good year, apparently, a nice vintage. And so it'd be nice to have some of this. So yeah, this is done, all done, dusted, carved, a little bit hard carbonation. I've got a little bit of, you won't be able to see this now. Maybe if I turn it around a bit, can you get to that? There's a little bit of hot matter, I think, that was floating there. Not a problem. I do, when I transfer, I don't do the full purge of a keg with the water and then purge it out with CO2, leaving it full of CO2. I just empty it and then try and flush the air out with CO2 as best I can that way. I mean, it's not a perfect, it's not a brilliant method, but it is a method attempted. Because also, whilst I do the cold crash, my big problem is I don't have a way of, I can either fill it, let it backfill with star sand, which isn't brilliant, or water, I suppose. I could, once I come to cold crash, I could just put fresh water in and just water my beer down. So not a brilliant option either. So what I do, I just take it out of the blow off tube, which is usually this hose, and just pull it out, and just, it gets airing, and I try not to disturb it, so the air just sits there on the top, interacting with the very top layer. Hopefully, gently slide the pipe work down into the bottom-ish area of the fermenter before then transferring using CO2 into the keg that's been flushed to a degree, and that is as good as I do at the minute. No pressure fermenting, no pressure transfers really. There's a bit of, well, it's pressure transferred, but not to the degree that I probably should. I did think about doing the Dicky method, the Dudes Broods method with a balloon. But you do need like something like a helium balloon that's already there. You can just scrunch down to squeeze the air out and let it fill up with CO2 rather than using a normal balloon, because the pressure pushing back against it just causes it just to go out the sides. I think I did start that and then had a rethink because I thought, nah, that's a bit stupid. That balloon won't work. I have in front of me, up to my side here, hops already set in their little tubs. For what, you may ask? Well, I've been going to work, as I do, on 3 days where I go through to Pickering and do what I do. That isn't the escape room that I do on the Friday and Saturday. And I've been going through about between 4.5, 4 in the morning, and first time it touched 3 degrees on the way there according to the car yesterday. So we can get the beer engine going. Yeah! Fire up the beer engine. So we're going to do an ESB. The ESB that's in the Bible. So I'm pretty much all set. Only difference, well, I say the only difference, there's a lot of differences obviously. There always is the way I do it, and the way a lot of us do things. I believe it starts with Challenger, then East Kent Goldings, then Fuggles. Now, I don't have any Challenger left, and I don't have any East Kent Goldings, but the posh Goldings are First Gold, so I use First Gold for bittering. The start, the 10-minute is supposed to be East Kent Goldings, which I just used more First Gold, and the final, is it really? Yes, it is. And the final bit is Fuggles, and I had Fuggles, so that's the sort of like hop stand kind of thing. I don't know if I've shown you these before, but I have these little these little boxes that are, they're not completely airtight. Well, they're quite airtight actually. Maybe not 100%, but they're pretty airtight. And I have 2 marked end of boil, initial boil. So, and then I have the whatever's in between too, and I have them stacked like that and set. And this can take a shitload. This can take a shitload if I need them to. So I use them. I have 4 of them, and 4 seems to be enough. Certainly for getting through from boil to hop stand, and then I just do dry hops a few days later, so then I do them separately. So I bought a 4-pack of these on eBay, I think it was, God knows, 7, 8 years ago. These have been brilliant. These are perfect. I have to admit, I've never washed them, so if there's any hop dust in there that gets into the whatever, the citra, there's everything that's been through here is in, but they stay sealed with the lids on unless I'm tipping them in or measuring them into it. That's them. There's no need to clean them. They're dry, sealed, only had hops in, and that's it. Yeah, they're brilliant. I do love them. Yeah, so I'm doing the ESB so that I can have something on the beer engine and drink some bitter alongside this. And I'm getting to the point where I'm looking at, I need to do a malt miller order, and as I've been made aware this morning by Russell, Rusty Homebrew, the American hops have just overnight pretty much gone up by 20%, and also the grains, because of Ukraine, they're rising, so It's getting more and more expensive, isn't it, this hobby? I mean, it was already really expensive when you start buying £500 fermenters and glycol chillers rather than a bucket and that, but I can't say it's not improved, pardon me, my beer. And one of the things I have noticed, so I probably had a beer up until end of July, probably July, start of August, and I say it's now it's the end of September, getting on for October, and in that time I've spent a fucking fortune buying beer. Now, yeah, so if the price of grains and hops and that are going up, the price of beer will go up with it, but it is offset by the fact if you make it, it's still a hell of a lot cheaper. It really is. I have no idea how much that cost me to make. I know there's the energy costs have really gone through the roof now. We're supposedly still here in Yorkshire with a water hosepipe ban, and as I'm talking, it's still pissing down and has been most of the day, as it has been most days since the hosepipe ban was instigated. It's good, this stuff. I'm taking this slur already. Yeah, I don't really use a hose. I do use a hosepipe, but I don't use a hosepipe at the same time. This is pretty much that's all I use as a hosepipe. Why do I use that? Just to get it into things, you know. Because I at the minute I'm brewing on outside taps, fixed tap set there, so I have to pipe it up to it to get things into everything. I mean, obviously I use the reverse. What's it called? The reverse chiller, is it? I think it's called the reverse chiller, isn't it? Yeah. So I use that. So that does use a bit of water as it pours off the excess. And I admit I don't save it and I don't do anything with it. It literally goes down the drain. I mean, I could do this if I did this in the house. I'd still only be using this, and I'd still be doing it with the connecting of that, doing the same thing. I don't personally consider that using. It is using a hose pipe, but it's also not really a hose pipe, I don't think. And as I say, in where I am in Yorkshire, it's done nothing but fucking piss down, and piss down and piss down since they brought in the ban. But I'm not watering my garden and shit. I don't need to. The fucking garden's like, I don't get a chance to mow the lawn because it's always so fucking wet because it never stops fucking raining. Anyway, end of that one. So this vacant version is obviously just Citra, and I have to say, hand on heart, I have absolutely missed homebrew. I didn't think I would, and I didn't think I did. I'd obviously got to a point where I was doubting my own ability, doubting my own beer, and so I've just been drinking proper commercial beer. However, comparing this to, say, even Sharks Drink Water, which was the beer that inspired me to come back to having another crack at it all and doing it and stuff before selling the whole shebang, which I was getting to that point. I was thinking about it. It was, I don't know why. It's just, I just couldn't really face coming in and doing it and cleaning it all and setting it up and that. But I had that and I thought, wow, that's a different level. I was having just this like the cheap level commercial beers. I don't mean like, I was drinking things like Kronenberg, Birra Moretti and that during the summer. Maybe some Staropramen, maybe some Pilsner Urquell. But I was also drinking a little bit higher up. I can't remember what they're called. There's a couple of like Edinburgh breweries that a little have been using. The Aldi and Goose Island beer, that was alright, yeah. There's the Dunkel I showed you the other day. That's an Aldi one. I mean, that sort of a level, a low level. And even the ones I was getting from my craft beer shop were okay. Like, yeah, so it's like, it's fine, yeah. But that, even sharks need water, was just like, poof, another level. And I thought, do you know what? That is a good beer. That's the kind of beer that inspires you to brew again. The last beer that did that to me was possibly, and I'm going back, and I probably said this 1,000 times, and I sound like old school, was Cloudwater version 2. Before that, it was Punk IPA that inspired me, and then Cloudwater's version 2 kicked me up the arse even further and said, just go and do a double IPA kind of thing. But this is nowhere near, and I won't even claim it to be, as pillowy soft and lovely as that, but it is a step in the right direction, a damn sight cheaper than what I've been drinking, and it's there on tap at home, and I don't have to go to the shops and come back, and that's another thing now, fuel costs. You've got to add fuel costs. You've got to the bloody shops now, don't you? Unless you get it delivered, I suppose. Delivered at a stupid time, you might get free delivery. So that's that. It's absolutely, if you've not done Vacant Gesture, do it. That's with Mosaic, and it's, apart from the Challenger at the beginning, which I still didn't even have Challenger, so I didn't even put Challenger in. This is Citra all the way through, this one. But Harry's Brew uses Challenger at the beginning. I get the feeling that these days Challenger, certainly for me, has become the new Magnum. Magnum was that clean bitterness hop that was cheap. Challenger seems to be coming through as, certainly has been for me. I've been using that instead. But this is just pure Citra all the way through, and it works. It really does. I need to work on, if I do that like this and alter slightly I didn't alter the waters on this whatsoever, but if I altered the waters on this as well, I could get this pillowy soft. I think I could get this pillowy soft. Even though I've just wasted the tiniest bit, and I felt my soul die. Yeah. So this is a Wednesday. I'm talking absolute shite to you. I've been at work since 4:30 this morning. It's now what? 3:30 this afternoon. Been at work. Wee one's away now with the grandparents for a couple of hours. Wife's away at work. Eldest one has just beaten me at chess. So that kind of pissed me off. Really did. Admittedly, he made some real big errors, but then I made some big errors and didn't mention them. Which I got away with, to be honest. So yeah, that's not good. Anyway, yeah, this is why I'm sat here talking shit, bit tired. This is the second of these, I'll be honest, second of these drinking, so I'm feeling the tiredness, and so I'm waffling around for 18 minutes. Have anything important to say? I believe there is a brew day for Steve Gasson. Now, Steve Gasson was an admin, a lovely guy, a guy that had a lot of medical issues over the years, and still had a fucking great sense of humour. Still a fighter, and fought long and hard. Sadly, he passed recently, and we're having a brew day for him on BrewTube, but also combined with the monthly BrewTube brew day that Matt Harmon has been organising. took me a moment. I'm terrible with names as it is at the best of times. So Matt Harmon has been organising now since Dickie dropped out doing it. The kind of monthly brew day, and it's combined now. And I believe it is not this Saturday or the next, it's the one after. Now, sadly for me, I can't make it. I'm at work. I now do, as I say, escape rooms on a Saturday, so I'll be busy with that. Yes, I'm away this Saturday, but it's my son's 18th. Sort of chance for me, and first time to take him for a beer, and first time for him maybe buying me one. So I get away from that. Yeah. So if you can, and you're around, check in. There'll be probably the usual guys that do the live brew days. But I imagine there'll be quite a few more for Steve Gasson's passing, doing their brew day. It's going to be, I believe, the recipe that Adam Walker and Rusty, Baldy Brewery, and Russell McGowan, Rusty Brewery, they went to his house and brewed a beer with him one time a while back, and so I believe this is going to be that recipe, but put up for people to brew. I mean, I know Rusty himself's already altered it for himself, so it's just there as a guide if you want to do that. Plus Brett's, just Brett Harmon, I think, yeah. They do, I think, the beers from here still, and I think there's one from there still that they're doing as a suggested brew. I think there's a few actually. I think it's dark beers, but they're all suggested. But you can still just brew what the hell you want. Turn up. I'm not sure how or what. Check on BrewTube. There is posts there. There is links there. Have a look. Find it. And hopefully I'll be able to tune in at some point and join in somehow, maybe through my phone whilst at work. Well, probably not at work. But I may be able to get in and tune in with you guys anyway. So it's 20 odd minutes. Another long, ridiculously long one. But happy Homebrew Wednesday. Good to see you all again. Good to be back. Good to have beer. And future's positive as far as brewing is concerned, I think. Got to get some more malty stuff. Anyway, we're going to cut it. Zip, because you're bored fuckless. So, if you got this far, thanks for watching. I'll catch you with the next one. Cheers.